Alrighty. So if anybody wants to jump in here and talk about something, it looked like Sam wanted to, so that's why I wanted to go ahead and end my last video before I let Sam, the bull in the china shop, in. Sammy the bull. So anyway, go to my motherfucking. Where's my? Let's see. Is anybody coming in? Sammy the bull. What up?
How's it going, man?
I'm good, and you?
I'm good too. I like this discussion because I think that people need to plan for their future, and the future is going to happen. So people do need to plan for the future, and I like the financial discussion that you had. And I've been doing a lot of planning for my future, like very recently, and yeah.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it, man. No, it's I think it's an important topic too because you'll notice how this whole system is rigged to make sure you do not pass on generational wealth. This system is rigged against the idea of generational wealth.
I think it is, and I think you're right. And like I said it in a comment, but I'm trying to set up a whole life for my sister
How old's
because
your sister?
she's probably 34.
Nice. So her cost of insurance won't be high. So
I'm
that's the
trying
whole.
to
Yeah, that's
I'm
the whole.
trying to I'm trying to set up a whole life for myself for my sister if something happens because I want everything to go to her. And
Yeah, you want her to be the beneficiary.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's life insurance is really the best way to do that because it's tax free. Like people don't understand what. Oh shit, what's it called, dude? When you die and they go through the whole process,
Probate or
probate.
no.
There you go. Couldn't think of the word. Yep. What a fucking scam that is. I mean, if that doesn't meet, make the idea that this system is rigged against generational wealth, I mean, that's the most obvious thing there is. That's like they're going to clip you for like 40%.
So I'm like totally geared in, locked in. Like I'm setting everything up. And I'm actually feeling really healthy, but the whole thing is like I want to set up a retirement.
Sure.
So I'm trying to set up the end like right now. And I'm trying to set up the end right now, and I just want everything freaking locked in. If something stupid happens to me, let's say I get ran over by a train or something like that, like that's why I'll have a whole life set up for my sister. But um,
Do you take care of her or something?
no, I don't take care of my little sister, but she's my favorite freaking person in the whole world,
Sure.
and I love the freaking shit out of my little sister.
I can relate to that.
She's always been my favorite lady, you know. So that's that.
What up, Jordan?
Hello.
How you been?
I've been doing pretty good. Do you know
What
what's
was?
going on with Spider?
Yeah, he's just camping out, dude.
Where he's homeless?
He's got a nice tent.
Well, the whole court
He's
case
he's
actually
happy. You know what I mean?
the the court case got dropped. So
Yep, old Ryan's got himself into a pickle.
yeah, so Ryan's court case got thrown out. It's gone, fortunately.
But
Now Dave
he
now
caused a
now
lot of
Dave's
damage.
now Dave's actually coming out and playing after that because Dave was horrified about the whole damn thing. And Dave's trying to rebuild after that. But yeah. So Ryan's court case got thrown out. The judge is like, this is fucking retarded,
Well,
but
the DA looked at his fucking stupid ass channel, the Super Troll Archive channel, and was like,
yeah.
okay, this dude's a fucking whack job.
Yeah, that did happen. Yeah.
So he definitely has a hardcore pattern of fucking,
Being a douchebag.
just being a fucking pest.
Yeah, he is a pest. Yeah.
So that's why he comes in to like intentionally provoke you. You know what I mean? His goal is to provoke you to anger. That's why he, talks down to people and as though he's like, Mr. Massive Intelligence and shit. So anyway.
Yeah, so yeah, that's kind of what happened. Jordan. So Jordan, that's the update. And
Yeah, what have you been up
um
to?
Spider's actually probably free and Spider could probably actually show up like right now. And
No,
just
he's been advised by his attorney not to yet.
he could probably get a bond restriction
Well,
and
no, just,
a bond update on that. He's still out on bond, so like it's a bond problem. So if you were to be like, "Hey, can I just like talk to my friends on the internet as a bond uplift?" He probably could, but we'll be hearing from him in probably I don't know, like a month. He'll be back.
Is there a gag order around the case?
no.
No, no, no. Yeah.
No, Spider's good. I mean, he's happy. He likes that he doesn't have bills and shit to pay, so he don't mind living in the tent. So
He's freaking balling in that tent.
yeah, hey man, he's happy. What can you do?
He got himself a nice job at a hardware store, and he lives in the tent.
Yeah, no, he quit the hardware store.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did.
Was it like really recent?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, he had like a transvestite manager.
Oh God,
Said he couldn't take it.
that's freaking gay.
Oh yeah, we've had a couple of those. Like at the Walmart here in town, there's a couple of dudes that fucking one dude walking around in high heels and shit. I was just like, oh man, you poor soul. So, tell us about what you've been up to, Jordan.
I've just been working. And I've been buying the silver.
Nice.
Jordan, don't buy silver. Sell all of your silver and just start buying STRC.
No way. Hold your silver, bro.
Get the STRC. Get all that. Collect the 11.5% dividends. Compound them. Just keep doing that.
Know another reason why gold and silver is important in matters of law because it's actual property. Like, those minerals, those precious minerals that you pulled out of the earth is like portable land. You know what I mean? And you're a land owner when you're holding gold and silver.
Yeah, but that's weird. It is weird and questionable. Like, I own this. Like, you're holding it, and
Yep.
it's like think about yourself picking up a rock, and you're like, you pick up a rock, and you're like, this is mine. Is it really yours? You know. I think what is yours is probably like what you create, and that's yours. But if you like pick up a rock, I don't think that's necessarily yours, you know. But whatever. I mean, to each their own.
Well, like in law, because, your labor picked up or found the rock. Do you know what I mean?
I think everything is going to go back to the land. So I think that there's a natural understanding that like everything goes back to the land. We will become fossils. Everything becomes fossils. Everything goes back to the land. But I think the whole what is yours thing is legitimately what what you can probably it's probably art. Literally, it's probably just a matter of art, not what you claim, but it's a matter of art.
Where are you a
That's
communist?
probably
And supply and demand.
yeah, but that I think art's probably more significant than anything else because when everything's said and done, like I can fix a bunch of broken shit a million times in my career. I can infinitely just I'm gonna fix something, it's gonna get broken, and I can just do it over and over and over. Everything is gonna get broken. I can fucking guarantee that all of the things that I fix are going to get broken again. But like in the aspect of art, like art's just there. And I think that we're probably geared towards an appreciation of art. And I think that I'm totally fucked up and in the wrong aspect of life.
Well, the thing is with a lot of these art dealers, they're like money launderers. Like, do you believe that an all white painting is worth like 40 million in cash value? That seems kind of ridiculous to me. Or like,
Exactly. Jordan's definitely onto something.
Well,
Epstein.
there's a lot of horseshit in the equation, but it's like according to who? It's worth that according to who?
It's the
You
free
know.
market. It's the speculative value of the item. Like Kurt Cobain's shoes, the Converse shoes, is probably worth maybe like hundreds of thousands. Whereas this like a shoe that someone wore. Michael Jackson's glove.
Yeah, I mean, I guarantee you, if you look in the tax laws about, art and all of that shit, you'll find the answer.
But you're probably better off actually. Sam is right. Buying like a painting that costs 1,000, even if it's a reprint or whatever, and trying to sell it on eBay for like 5,000 for some sucker rich kid that thinks that he's buying some high valued art.
No, I think you were onto something with the laundering money aspect.
Yeah, Epstein was putting in money. Like a lot of these businesses, they'll set up the artwork and on the side, they're actually making money to try and process it through the artwork.
Sorry,
Why
I'm
you guys
drumming.
bringing? I don't want you guys bringing me into a money laundering scenario. So I want to stay out of that.
Now, that's for the big shots. You can't get away with that at this level. If you're middle class or poor, it's not even for you anyway.
Yeah, sorry, dude. I'm eating, so I'm listening now.
And what was you saying earlier, Brandon, about the Elon Musk having like a 18 billion in debt? He's using loans to finance his SpaceX company and all that.
Well, no, that's like he just takes all of his stock that he owns and he gets a loan against that asset, and then so he basically loans can't fall under your taxable income. So this is how he pulls money out of the value of his stocks without getting taxed. Makes sense?
Yeah, so the IRS can't touch it.
Correct. That's the same. You can use the infinite banking concept with the many different instruments. I'm just saying a properly structured and funded IUL is hands down the best instrument to use in my opinion.
So let's say I take out a loan of like $2,000 and I go try to short silver or gold or any kind of like hard asset. And then the profit that I make, it's not capital gains taxable income. It's not, the IRS can't touch that profit.
Well, now, if you take a loan against the cash value, if the market went the other way, your money stayed safe in your policy. You borrowed the insurance company's money. You lost their money, not your money. Your money still earning uninterrupted compounding interest. So every year you get an interest credit on your money, so your money continues to grow. And you don't have to pay back the loan because it's collateralized by the death benefit. So if you want to pay back the loan, you can. If you're not able to or don't want to, you don't have to.
So is a mortgage a scam when you try to, put out a loan for a house?
No, I mean, you know, loans themselves are kind of a scam.
If you're looking at like financial stuff, I'm I'm not Dave Ramsey, but like seriously, if you can qualify for an Amex card, get into the Amex family, American Express, and start playing with Amex if you can qualify. And um, just start out small, and then you can go bigger and bigger, and you can get so many points and freebies. It's cheaper to use an Amex card than it is to play with a debit card. Like it actually saves you money. And Dave Ramsey's like, no, that's gay. Blah 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 blah. If you can use Amex for every fucking thing that you buy. Seriously.
Huh? Why you been earning a ton of points?
Yeah.
Nice.
No, I'm like, I'll use Amex before a debit card any fucking day of the week. And yeah, like, so I'm trying to suggest Jordan do that too. And it's literally cheaper. Like your debit card is like straight money. but if you're using Amex, it's actually cheaper to use an Amex credit card, American Express, than it is to actually use a debit card. I'm just saying, it's cheaper. It saves you money. And
Woo! I ate a fucking pepper that just kicked me in the mouth, boy.
Brandon, are you on Amex or no?
No, no. Nope, I'm not at the moment. I'll have to look into it though.
Yeah, definitely take the Amex route. Like all the rich people are like American Express, blah 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 blah. All the rich people are like, yeah, American Express is the coolest, but like realistically, it's cheaper to use an American Express credit card than a debit card for any transaction for anything. It's cheaper.
Right.
Brian, do you have any liquid assets like it's easily accessible and you can exchange it for money almost immediately, or is it a solvent?
Yeah, that's where. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not. My liquidity sucks right now.
I've got liquidity, but it's in fucking Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is so fucking cheap right now. I can't do anything with it. I'm stuck at
What do you mean?
62
What's the price of Bitcoin now?
$62,000 a pop or something like that. I'm stuck on it, dude.
Yeah, that's not cheap as fuck.
Yeah, but I literally mined it at $5 a pop, so I got to pay capital gains on all of it. So I'm fucked.
Well, no. This is where if you learned about a charitable remainder trust, then you'd know how to avoid capital gains tax legally
Not for Bitcoin.
for anything. That's how
No,
charitable.
you have to have, so for I don't know, maybe you're a fucking wizard and you can help me out here. What the fuck do I need to know? So I bought in. I didn't buy in. I was mining Bitcoin when it was $5 a pop, and I have a shitload of Bitcoin. And I am literally like looking at this wall of capital gains taxes if I sell anything. I'm all like set up to sell, but I don't want to sell at 62 because I think it's going to go to fucking
Oh yeah,
probably
it's gonna go up
two.
again for sure.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm scared. And, but I've like been in this
Don't be
fucking
scared.
position. I've been in this position for a long time, and I'm going to spend a shitload of fucking money on capital gains. So, like, what do I do to?
You set up a or excuse me, not a capital, a charitable remainder trust. Basically, what you're doing is you're making a kind of an agreement with the government that you know you're going to build up the value of this trust as hard as you can while you're alive, and then when you die, 5% of the body of your trust has to go to a certain charity, some kind of charity. And this is why all of the wealthy people set up the Trump Foundation and the Clinton Foundation and the Bill and Hillary
Yeah, but
Foundation.
it's not actual funds though. It's Bitcoin funds, and
Yeah,
how
but
do I
when you
apply
convert it,
crypto?
yeah, when you convert it to whatever currency, yeah, once you take it out of Bitcoin, then they'll want tax on it unless you put the assets into your charitable remainder trust. You know what I mean? Capital gains is like 15%. So why wouldn't I delay paying anything and they're going to give me a break if I guarantee to give 5% of the total value of the trust with all of the assets in it. 5% of that
So
has to get.
how do I go through an exchange to that, and how would that work?
Well, I mean, you just have to, I mean, it does take a little bit of time to transfer the assets into the trust. So, there's just,
It seems like by the time I went through doing the transaction, transferring the assets in it, it
yeah, like
sounds
it's
pretty
going to take
spooky.
like, it's probably going to take you, probably 6, 7 months to transfer all of your Bitcoin assets into your charitable remainder trust. And that's where you just basically have to, you have to declare and show what the value of your trust is. You know what I mean? You just if in the event you were audited, then you have to be able to show what you're doing to increase the value of this trust. Well, now if this trust just got a whole lot of Bitcoin put into it, and you go ahead and sell the Bitcoin, boom, you did an amazing job of growing the trust, and now you're obligated. You don't have to pay any tax on that, no capital gains or anything.
It's like
Because
a Roth.
are you going to just listen, man? No,
Go
it's
ahead.
not Roth. So yeah, it's a charitable remainder trust. That's what it's called.
Okay.
It's a particular type of trust. Trusts are you're creating an entity that's going to do things when you're dead. You know what I mean? It's going to carry out your orders when you're dead. It's going to sit there and manage money for your children when you're dead. That's the point of a trust.
I get that, but
So that's the agreement that you're making by setting up a charitable remainder trust. The government's going to trust that you're going to give 5% of all the money you make and you put in this trust to some charity. This is why I'm telling you, this is why the wealthy set up foundations. That's why
I've never.
Trump set up the Trump
Yeah.
Foundation.
No, it sounds brilliant. I've just never heard of such a thing ever.
Yeah. That's the biggest loophole. That's why
I
they
just
don't
don't.
pay
I I
fucking.
can't figure out how I could put uh any Bitcoin into a said trust and trust that.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to fucking, just lay out my secret sauce for you here on fucking YouTube. But yeah, you have to form a trust, and it's better to make
Is
sure.
there any like insurance or liability insurance on the trust?
Can you get insurance on the trust?
Yeah, because like what happens if something happens, right? A black swan event, you know.
I mean, you can get insurance on the assets that are in the trust, but you can't get insurance on the trust itself. You know what I mean? That's like trying to put a fucking uh, uh, an insurance, trying to get insurance on something that is conceptual or abstract. You know what I mean?
Brandon, can you email me like details on that? Like you just like give me a rough draft. Is there any way you could just like email me like a rough draft of what
Yeah.
you
Here,
just told
watch.
me?
Hold on. Let me do this. Let's do this. Now, let's see, where's that dude? I think this is a guy. Yeah, okay, I think it is. Hold on, let me. We go here, bada boom.
Estate or you're thinking about buying your first property, there are a few things you need to get
Oh,
right.
here's the one. This is the one.
This is Professor Russell James coming to you from Texas Tech University. Welcome to today's lecture from Visual Plan Giving, an introduction to the law and taxation of charitable gift planning.
Can you put the link in the
This is
chat
Professor
and I'll
Russell
just
James
copy
at
it?
Texas Tech University. Welcome to Charitable Remainder Trust's introduction. Charitable remainder trusts are among the most powerful and flexible charitable planning vehicles available to donors and charitable planners. These instruments offer enormous potential tax advantages, along with enough freedom to address the needs of even the most exacting client with highly peculiar preferences. Unlike charitable gift annuities, charitable remainder trusts are typically individually created to precisely match the plans and preferences of the individual donor. This flexibility does come at a cost, specifically the cost of individually constructing and annually maintaining the trust. But for large transactions, these costs can be relatively inconsequential. Despite the unique nature of most individually crafted charitable remainder trusts, all must comply with the broad framework from the Internal Revenue Code. The most common form of a charitable remainder.
And just so you know, a trust is just another form of contract. Just like a will and testament. You know what I mean?
Trust is one where the donor places assets into a trust from which he receives payments for life, with any remainder going to the charity at death. In the accompanying image, the charitable...
Like if you understood how to design these type of contracts, it could be very beneficial to somebody.
Hey, Brandon, I'm going to set up a testament right now. I'll kick your goddamn ass. But anyways, please show me how to, please show me the shit.
I'll kick your ass. Please gimme.
Remainder trust, labeled CRT, is pictured as a basket holding cash. A trust is essentially a basket with instructions that holds money or other assets. The charitable remainder trust is no exception. The charitable remainder trust is a special kind of trust basket because it is itself a charitable entity. Consequently, the trust pays no taxes on income or capital gains from typical investments. The charitable remainder...
Did you hear that, Sam?
Yeah.
The trust pays no taxes because it's designed to give. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Trust differs from the charitable gift annuity in that it is typically a donor-created vehicle, whereas charitable gift annuities are issued, administered, and...
So it's a matter of paperwork. It's contracts and shit. You have to show, just like you do with the business, the assets that are held within the trust.
Yeah, but there's a million of them, and you just showed me one that I've never heard of before, and it sounds fucking amazing.
Managed by the charity.
It is fucking amazing.
The charitable beneficiary of a charitable remainder trust may not even know of its existence until receiving the final distribution check. Although the most common form of charitable remainder trust is one where the donor sets aside assets from which he or she takes payments, with any remaining amount going to charity at death, there are other varieties. For example, the payments need not go to the donor, but could instead go to someone else selected by the donor. The payment recipients, also known as annuitants, could even be a combination of the donor, the donor's friends or family, or other charities. However, at least one beneficiary must be non-charitable. Although payments are typically made for the donor's life or the joint lives.
See, I'm such a big fan of these because I think that it's important, like biblically important, to focus on generational wealth. Otherwise, these fucking criminals are going to make slaves out of your children. So, anyway, that's my concern. So, but yeah, this is where the charitable remainder
I
trust,
mean,
and then you set up a family foundation so that
Brandon, that's what I was looking to do. I was looking to make slaves out of your children, but if you're not interested, then I guess we're gonna have a conflict or whatever. And sorry
well,
about it,
I
man.
don't have any children. That's the bummer part.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
Well,
why I need to
whatever.
make a shit ton of money so I can get me a cute little mama that likes to have money spent on her and shit, so that she'll give me a bunch of babies.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay.
That's the nice thing about younger chicks in their 20s and shit, dude. They just fucking. Have you seen that Chris Rock joke about it? Hold on, let me
No.
find it. Dude, I mean, I gotta tell you guys about this fucking show. It's actually hilarious.
Good news, everyone. We're switching
Scam
to
Chan
Chrome.
turned me on to it, and I'm almost embarrassed to say that I actually like this show. The Promised Land, dude. It's actually kind of funny. So even though it's not totally biblically accurate or anything, but hold on. Chris Rock, older women. Look. Okay, here it is. Yeah. All right. Dating younger women is cheaper than older. Hold on.
That's right. That's right. Okay. I'm going to try to do a show. I'm going to try, nigga, sit down. I'm going to try to do a show tonight without offending nobody, okay? I'm going to try my best. You know why? Because you never know who might get triggered. That's right. You say the wrong thing, motherfuckers get scared. Go to work, you are fucking scared. In the old days, if somebody wanted your job, they just worked harder than you.
On.
She just wants a pair of shoes.
There we go. Hold on.
A lot of people. That's right. Oh, I play starting something. It's a party. I play bump and grind. Now you an activist. So everybody's scared. Everybody full of shit. Nah, man. A lot of people think men date younger women because they're younger. No, not at all. Men do not date younger women because they're younger. Men date younger women because they're less expensive to date. That is what it all boils down to. See, you go out with a 25-year-old, she just wants a pair of shoes. I saw these shoes. Can I get these shoes? I saw these shoes. Can I get these shoes? I really like these shoes. Can I get these shoes? Can I send you the link? Can I send you the link? I want to get these shoes. Can I get these shoes? You can Venmo me. That's the app I put on your phone 3 weeks ago. Can I get these shoes? And if you're lucky, your 25-year-old will model those shoes for you. That's right. You go, fuck it, bitch, get the shoes. And if you're lucky, she will model them for you, naked. And she's like, you like your shoes, daddy? You like your shoes? You like your shoes, daddy? You like your shoes? And everybody's happy for the price of a pair of shoes. That's what it's like to date a 25-year-old.
You see? Anyway. So anyhow, now back to the charitable remainder trust.
Of the donor
Fucking yeah. I
spouse,
want them.
a charitable
I
remainder
guess
trust.
I got it.
What was that?
I said I guess I got it because I can always like review this as long as you actually launch it, and I can review all this information as long as you launch it as a live. But I really want to learn more about this, and
Yeah, they're important, dude. It's this is where this is one of the big loopholes.
yeah,
One of the
I
big
like them.
loopholes old Trump was talking about. So is
I
Jordan
like
still here?
I like, yeah.
Are you still here, Jordan?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But anyways, So yeah, that's if you got a bunch of Bitcoin and shit, you need to put it in a charitable remainder trust. And then if you want, then you set up a foundation. You can call it whatever you want, Sam's Family Foundation. And that's where, at the end, when you die, now 5% of whatever's in the trust goes into the family's foundation, while the rest of it goes tax free to your kids, to your sisters, to whoever. You know what I mean?
Oh shit. That's fucking killer.
Yeah, it is killer.
So they take 5% and that's it. They just take
Well, they don't
5%.
even take 5%. You know what I mean? You have to give 5% to a charity. That's why they're giving you a break on paying any taxes.
That is fucking batshit crazy and amazing, and thank you.
Batshit crazy, but amazing. Yeah, that's real shit.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yep. Because capital gains is a fucking killer, dude.
Dude, it's bad. I
Yeah.
don't like I can't do dick right now without paying capital gains on shit. I literally cannot do dick. I'm fucked.
Yeah, that's all you got to do is put that shit into a charitable remainder trust and then discuss with all of your family members that you actually give a shit about and tell them, we're going to set up a family foundation so that, 95% of all of the money, all of the assets that sat there and got tax free accumulation, 95% of that's going to go to my beneficiary of the, you know,
Yeah, but
charitable
do they
remainder.
do they do they have to pay capital gains on it or inheritance tax on it when they receive it?
Not unless not if they're structured, they're structured properly.
So
You
if
know what
they're
I mean? 'Cause
structured properly, they don't.
you can send it to them, and they can have their own trust. That you send it to the trust, not to them.
Okay.
Kind of like sending it to their LLC instead of them. You know what I mean? Same idea.
I get your
Have
that.
trust fund babies, right?
That's trust
So
fund baby, man.
you're
Everybody would
saying
be a
like
trust fund baby if your parents were fucking actually financially smart.
so you're saying like all my nieces need to have trust already set up,
Yeah,
even
and I
though
mean,
they're
yeah, it's
yeah.
a contract. That's all. You know what I mean? It's a particular type of contract.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm way oversimplifying, but I'm just saying it's a form of a contract where you're basically declaring, here's what I want done with all of my shit after I'm gone.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I mean, there's more to it than that, but yes, I know how to fucking design trusts, and I do it.
I'm probably gonna have to hire you pretty quick to figure some shit out. But no, I appreciate it and thank you.
Well, let me tell you the advantage, because lawyers, they're taught statutory law. They're not taught common law. And common law is very powerful. It's what we inherited from England. A lot of people don't know that our quote unquote founding fathers that wrote the Declaration of Independence and the Bill of Rights and all of that, they were deists. They were not Christians. They were Masons. You know what I'm saying? They were all Freemasons and shit. George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Paine, all of them.
Well, a lot of fucking Masons are Christians, but they think that like Masonry is a fucking religion, which it's not.
But it
So
is.
there's this. No, it's not. There's a big confusion, and people get retarded, and they think that like Masonry is a religion. It's not.
It sure is.
It sure is not. It never was.
Hold on.
If you're going according to Albert Pike, that Confederate General's definition of Freemasonry, because he says that Freemasons worship Lucifer above the third degree. But I don't know if like you could really use that as a like with him. That's the Scottish Rite,
You're
and then
you're
also
talking, yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Jordan. You're talking about the Scottish Rite. You're talking about the 33rd degree, but like American Masons and everybody else everywhere else, they're going to get to degree 1, degree 2 and degree 3. There's nothing beyond that. And the 33rd is the Scottish Rite, but that's a different sect, and that might be a religion. But you know, you don't see that in the U.S.
all Masonry really is just a foundation for joining different cults above that anyway, because you
It's
got the
part of the
OTO.
fucking Catholic Church, and they're pitching the fucking same ecumenical movement as the Catholic Church. It's the same shit in a different package.
Because in the first degree ritual, you die
Okay,
and come
here
back.
it is. John Ankerberg. I couldn't remember his name. Fuck. Here.
Welcome. We're glad that you joined us tonight. We have a
Yeah, I
man
can't
from
hear
Boise,
it.
Idaho that belongs to the Masonic Lodge. And
Can you guys hear it?
Yeah, I can.
he's going
You
to
can hear it, but you were talking
he
about
actually
Catholic
wrote to
shit.
me and
You
said
were
that
talking
he
about Catholic shit.
Well,
And,
to me, they are a fraternal order of the Jesuits. The Jesuits infiltrated the Masons long, long time ago.
okay, so if you're talking about Catholic shit, you want the Catholic variant, that would be the Knights of Columbus. The Knights
you
of
go.
Columbus are
You're
the equivalent.
objected to some things that we have said
This
on a
sucks,
prior
man.
program.
This sound
I
sucks.
thought
I
that
can't
might
even
make an
hear it.
interesting program for everybody. And so Bill made
Gay.
Who is the God of Masonry? Because we've got at least 6 different ones now that we're talking about, because Jehovah, Allah, Buddha, Ahura Mazda of the Zoroastrians are all different gods. Totally different concepts. Either all the religions of the world are wrong, or one of them is right. That's the law of contradiction. So how are we going to deal with that? How as a Mason would you deal with that? As a Christian Mason?
Well, as a Mason, I'll go back to the peace and unity within the lodge, as you said, at all cost. And the idea is we have no dissension within the lodge. We do nothing to offend a man of another faith. So we each pray, and when we're each praying to our God. And privately and outside the lodge, you may discuss this with a brother, but in the lodge, it is never brought up.
Would you say then that salvation in Masonry is a matter of the individual's relationship to his own God?
Yes, I'd say that. And a matter of his personal morality.
So Christ's statement, I am the way, the truth, and the life, would be rejected by Masonry.
No, the Christian lodges would accept that premise.
But Masonry as a whole?
I can't speak for the other lodges in the other countries. I've never been to those.
But a Buddhist lodge would reject it.
I would have to assume you're right.
An Islamic lodge would reject it.
I'd also have to assume that.
How could they be your brothers? They've rejected your God.
Amen,
We're brothers
Walter.
in the fraternity.
Fucking got you there, bitch. So, hold on. Here we go. Here's their little fucking weird ass rituals. So, and this is this is Catholic shit too. All of these weirdo fucking religions that practice all of these weird traditions and rituals, ceremonies. It's all religious fucking garbage. God despises it. And I do
behind the
too.
closed doors of the Masonic Lodge.
Fucking
In our
lame.
prior program, a 32nd degree Mason met with a Christian scholar to find out whether or not Christianity and the
Can't
Masonic
even
Lodge
hardly
were
hear it.
compatible. In that
Like,
program,
there's
our
no
Masonic
such
guest
thing.
said the ritual was the authoritative source for all Masons.
What was that?
But what is the ritual for the first 3 degrees of...
What was that?
There's
Say?
3 degrees. There's 3 degrees of Freemasonry. The only shit is the oddballs at the Scottish Rite, and that's it. Like, there's literally just 3 degrees of Freemasonry.
No, man.
That's it.
The first of the 10 commandments is thou shalt have no other gods before me.
They don't have any. Like, literally 70% of fucking Freemasons are fucking Christian.
Give me a
And
break.
it's just
You cannot be a Christian and participate in this fucking nonsense.
70% of Freemasons are Christian.
No, they're not.
And we're actually going
A Christian, an actual, real, born again, indwelled with the Holy Ghost Christian,
Yes.
would
Yes.
never ever this. Watch this stupid shit. They're exposing their weird fucking little ceremonies that they
Is
have.
this Scottish
create
Rite
for you
shit or
some
what?
of the ceremony, the ritual in the Blue
He's
Lodge,
gonna
the
say.
first 3 degrees of Masonry. Why? Well, you just heard Mr. Bill Mason.
You have to keep going through these as you go up in levels in Masonry, up until the 33 degree. No, until like 30 to 33 degree. Then they
People
go.
don't give a people. Hey, the people don't give a fuck about this nonsense. The people that are fucking literally going to these fucking things are construction workers, they're contractors, and they're it's backdoor deal scenario. So they just go there. It's like a Sunday church, and they're doing backdoor deals, and they're making fucking money, and they're contracting, and they're making fucking money. They
Well,
don't
there's
fucking
way
think.
more than that to it, dude. Because in the upper levels,
They don't.
Can
They
I
don't
just
give a.
fucking speak for 1 sec? Let me just
Go
say,
ahead.
after
Go ahead.
degree 30, that's when they reveal to them the great architect is Lucifer. That's straight up for real deal, buddy. So
Yeah, but the thing is, though, Brendan, one thing about this is you need to have nepotism in order to get to a certain level anyway. Because the Master Masons, they're not. It's structured in the same way as like a pyramid or an obelisk. You know, he used the Jachin Boaz thing as the Egyptian symbology, the obelisk. Obelisk at the very tippy top, you have the people that choose the people at the bottom. And I don't think that you, me, or anybody that I know would end up being at that level anyway. It takes a long time to become a 33rd degree Freemason.
I'm not in any fucking way ever interested in this. This is still religious nonsense to me. It's garbage. Just watch this stupid ass shit. And this is grown ass men that do this fucking put on these silly fucking costumes and shit and play in this imaginary fucking world. I'm not into it at all. Never have been. I've never been somebody that liked playing with fucking G.I. Joes and dolls and shit.
If you think the fucking Masons are weird, look at the Knights of Columbus. That's literally the fucking Catholic variant
explained to
of
you that he thought that
look at the Knights of
cannot be
Columbus.
considered a religion. Why? Because it has no creed, it has no
Religious
theology,
tradition.
it has no plan of salvation. But he did say the way that you find out, the way you measure that, is by looking at the ritual. And tonight, if that's the authoritative source, I thought that I would like to show you the ritual and let you decide for yourself. Now, we needed to have somebody that was knowledgeable, somebody that would be considered knowledgeable by Masons across the country. Who could be more knowledgeable than a worshipful master of the lodge. And tonight we actually have a former
Jesus said
worshipful
you're never to
master,
call another man on earth
who
master.
led over 600 men
But we're
in
going to
his
call
lodge
this
in
fucking guy
Maryland,
worshipful
who
master,
initiated
and it's
many
not
of
religious
those men into the lodge
at all.
And he's going to explain what is in
Worshipful
the
master.
typical Blue Lodge hall, and we are going to then ask him to give us certain parts of the ritual. It'll be exactly word for word those parts that we duplicate. But we're not going to give you all of the ritual. That would take about 5 hours. But the parts that we give to you, you will find
go up there,
are word for word
move.
what is in most of the lodges across the country. Our guest tonight is Mr. Jack Harris. And Jack, I would like for you to explain to us what we see here. What is the big G above this chair, and what is that chair, and what are these other chairs?
John, first of all, the chair of the worshipful master is situated in the east. It is the place of authority in the Masonic Blue Lodge. Over top of the chair is a letter G, found in every lodge within the United States.
Okay, what are these chairs down here?
Okay, on the left, we have the chair of the chaplain. Every lodge must...
I love that he... And right there is the letter G. Well, thank you for clearing that up for me. All righty.
And closed with prayer.
Which is in every lodge in the country.
And in a great many of your lodges throughout the United States, the chaplain is an ordained minister. To the right of the master is the chair of the senior deacon. The senior deacon is in charge of conducting all candidates through their initiation of the first 3 degrees of Freemasonry.
All right. What are these candles here, Jack?
These candles represent the sun, the moon, and the master of the lodge. As we come down through the center of the lodge, and this is significant because this altar is exactly in center of every Masonic lodge within the United States. Resting on top is the Holy Bible, the square, and the compasses.
All right, you're going to tell us.
What do you think that means? What do you think that symbolizes there, Sam? That we've got a Bible with a compass and a square on it. Huh.
They're,
you think it might have something to do with we're going to redesign the Bible?
I think that they're
architect.
I think they're fucking gay. I mean, I'll put that out there.
Yeah.
And they're fucking gay, and maybe they're nerds and they're gay, but like nobody's gonna follow them because they're gay nerds. Like,
what are you talking about? The fucking there's tons of Masons in Arizona where I'm at.
Oh my god, dude!
All of it, almost all the cops and judges and.
Yeah, but they go out there like, so let's put it this way. There's tons of Masons here. And my bosses, I worked in a lot of construction companies. My bosses were all Masons. And they would go to church with their family on whatever. And then they'd go there. That was the secondary church to where they do their backdoor deals for contracting. And it was like, yeah, if you're here, I'll play with you. And they literally contract out of the place. And it was like a secondary church. I've been in them. I know everything about it, like to the 3 degrees. But
yeah, they worship Satan, dude. Straight up. Sorry. They may not know it. All of the lower level guys may not know it, but they worship Satan.
Yeah.
And even for participating in this shit, they're totally disobeying God.
Brandon, real quick, can you do a favor for me?
Sure.
Yeah, look at the Order Eastern Star, which is the female Freemason.
Oh, yeah, I know what they are.
Yeah, that upside down pentagram.
Order of the Eastern Star.
Symbol.
Let me see here. Y'all know Bill Snow blowing? anyway, she was a very respectable, high-ranking woman. She was also a Christian. She was some sort of evangelical Christian. And anyway, she had gone into this Christian bookstore and found a little booklet that he had written called The Question of Freemasonry. And she opened it up, and of course, this is her own testimony to him, to Ed, that when she opened up to a certain page and saw the graphic therein, it was like the hair stood up on the back of her neck. And she called him and explained that for some time she had had a being, an entity that looked just like this graphic, coming to her in the night and raping her. And the being was basically a kind of hermaphroditic figure with the head of a goat, the torso of a woman, but the genitalia of a man. And some of you are probably already going to guess what this graphic was. It was a picture of the set which editor had put into the book to make a point, which was the celebrated drawing that an occultist, a high-level occultist in the 19th century named Eliphas Levi, had done of Baphomet. And I'm putting up a graphic here so those of you that aren't familiar can see it. And as you can see, it was a goat-headed figure with hermaphroditic body, and of course a pentagram on his forehead, etc. This is one of the most iconic representations of the devil that is out there, at least in the last couple hundred years. Well, when she saw that, Ed explained to her over the telephone that this is the principality behind the Eastern Star, for reasons we're going to explore in a few minutes. And she was just horrified because she was a good Christian woman, and this thing was terrifying her many nights. And so she ended up renouncing the Eastern Star, resigning it. She even persuaded her husband, who was also a high-level bigwig in the organization, to leave it as well and renounce it. So hallelujah. Now, what a more recent thing that happened is we had an individual a woman call us, and she had a similar experience. I doubt if she knew what this other woman's experience was. And essentially, this woman told me that she had this entity, again, with the head of a goat and so on, come to her in the night and sexually attack her. And when she protested, she actually tried to use the name of Jesus and rebuke it, which is why those women were being visited by these hairy goat demon Baphomet type figures. Okay, so where did this all start? Well, for whatever reason, there was a guy named Rob Morris, Dr. Rob Morris, who decided to start something like this, a woman's auxiliary for the Freemasonic order, because women, of course, are not allowed to be Masons. And basically, he started putting this together in the mid-1800s. And he was a past Grand Master of a Masonic lodge. So this guy was a big muckety-muck in the Masonic body. And at first he was called, in fact, the Poet Laureate of Masonry. So this guy was no, Masonic lightweight. He was a very important individual in American Masonry. Now, in 1868, this fellow, right after the Civil War, this fellow got to know Robert McCoy, who was probably one of the most influential non-Scottish Rite Masons in America. And in fact, he became a publisher. A lot of the Masonic books you see are to this day published by McCoy Publishing, which was his outfit that he started. And he transferred the authority for the Eastern Star onto him, because he was this McCoy guy was such a bigwig in the Masonic body nationally, it really took off. And I'm not going to get into all the details again, as I was saying. Those are available in the video, Ladies of the Labyrinth, because I want to keep this reasonably brief. However, let me just explain. If you go into the Eastern Star organization, you will see that it has a floor plan very similar to the Masonic Lodge, except in the center of it, there's this giant pentagram, this giant 5-pointed star. And then up on the eastern end of the, the lodge room or the chapter room is like a high place, a dais or whatever you want to call it, where the worthy patron and the worthy matron sit. But around the star are these 5 stations, these 5 star points that are represented by officers, female officers in the lodge or the chapter. And then in the center of this 5-pointed star is the altar. And the 5-pointed star has 5 colors to the 5 points. And around this altar are these women represent 5 characters out of the Bible. These are Ada and Esther and basically, let's see, Ada, Esther, Ruth, and Martha. And
I don't know who the fuck
Electa. Now you might say, well,
is.
who the heck is Ada? Well, Ada is the name.
Hold on, let's see. I've never seen Electa. Let me look. Electa.
I think this guy might have
Zero.
Had a good time playing with shrooms or something.
Oh yeah, this guy Bill Snowblowing or whatever his fucking name is. Yeah, he's definitely. I mean, you can see he's not a Jewish guy wearing the fucking yarmulke and shit, who claims to be a Christian. So I mean,
I want you to wear one, Brandon. Like,
wear a
why
fucking yarmulke.
Why do you never wear one? God damn it, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, I don't know about all that. Where'd Jordan go?
I don't know, man. Fuck.
There he is.
There we go.
All right.
Why doesn't Jordan, like, I want you to wear a yarmulke. I want Jordan to wear a yarmulke. Why do you guys just never wear them?
Wow, how come all of a sudden your microphone just like fucking went on fucking hyper, you know what I mean? Like all of a sudden your voice sounds clear and fucking perfect. What the fuck?
I don't know, my guy. I have no idea.
For Jephthah's daughter, which I'll get into more on these different individual women in a minute. But an Electa is the name they used for the real historical female character that's mentioned by John the Revelator, John the Beloved, in his second epistle. She isn't called Electa; she is called the elect lady and her children. Okay,
see,
so
that
we're going to get
shit's
into more of that
in
in a
the
minute,
Bible,
but I just
dude.
wanted to lay this out. So you've got this colorful 5-pointed star, and in the center is the altar where.
All right.
Oh, then you know he's just full of shit because he's rambling. He's talking about John the Revelator, and then he goes way off track, and he's fucking gay.
Okay, here we go.
Let me tell you the most dangerous moment in a marriage. It's not about the big blowout fight. It's not about the affair.
There is a symbol.
He looks like the guy to be coaching men on fucking how to handle your wife. Give me a break. You know what I mean? Fucking dude should be wearing a fucking t-shirt that says, I am a simp.
That's been displayed on the walls of lodge rooms and chapter halls across the United States and around the world for nearly 200 years, and most people who have seen it have no idea what they're looking at. It is a 5-pointed star, but it is inverted, with 1 point directed downward toward the earth and 2 points directed upward toward the sky. Inside the star is a pentagram, and inside the pentagram are 5 symbols arranged around a central letter, 1 symbol in each of the 5 triangular points of the inverted star. The symbols are a sword and a veil, a sheaf of wheat, a lion's head, a cup, and a crown with a broken column. The central letter is the letter G. the same letter that appears at the center of the square and compass of Freemasonry. Around the outer edge of the star, each point is colored blue, yellow, white, green, and red. The whole device is surrounded by a circular band bearing the motto that the organization has used since its founding in the middle of the 19th century. The motto is, "We have seen his star in the east and have come to worship him." This is the symbol of the Order of the Eastern Star, the largest fraternal organization in the world that admits both men and women, with an estimated membership of over 1 million people in chapters across the United States and in dozens of countries around the world. It was founded in the 1850s by a man who spent most of his adult life attempting to give women access to the Masonic world that excluded them, and it has been connected to Freemasonry since its inception in a relationship of institutional proximity, an official distance that has shaped the order's identity for the entire span of its existence. It conducts initiatory ceremonies of considerable elaboration, built around 5 biblical heroines whose stories are encoded in the 5 points of the inverted star, and whose virtues the order presents to its members as a moral curriculum. It operates in chapter rooms arranged in a specific spatial configuration, with officers positioned at precise locations and a ceremonial floor plan, whose symbolism is as deliberate as anything in a Masonic lodge. It has produced members of extraordinary consequence, has been present at some of the most significant moments in American political and cultural history, and has served as one of the primary institutional vehicles through which the tradition of women's fraternal organization has been maintained in the English-speaking world for the better part of 2 centuries. And yet the Order of the Eastern Star is almost completely absent from the mainstream historical account of American fraternal and religious life, overlooked by the scholars who study Freemasonry, underrepresented in the histories of women's organizations.
All right, tell me if you guys have seen this. I just wanted to throw in something for a giggle.
Brandon, I just wanted to say that was all gay, but like, have you ever like looked into the Brill, B-R-I-L
Oh yeah,
Society?
the Brill, yeah, the big, tall, fucking blonde people hanging out with the Nazis and shit.
No, they're not. Well, I mean, that's part of it, but like, that whole thing's fucking batshit crazy.
Oh yeah, that's some Hitler
Jordan.
was into some crazy shit.
Jordan,
tell me if you guys
have you
have
ever heard
seen
of the...
this yet. This shit fucking cracked me up, dude. I love this shit. Hold on. Here, hold on.
Free. Here are your papers. You can get your fella fucking ass up north.
I don't want to be free if it means I can't be with you no more.
Go diddle up north, you hear? Yankees love that shit.
Ain't nothing worse than a slave who can't churn butter.
Because none of my Negroes can chop wood to save their goddamn lives.
Well, that ain't shit. No matter what I do, mine just keep rearranging my furniture. That and the daddy song.
The daddy song?
You.
Daddy. It's all for you, cause you're my daddy. It's all for you, cause you're my baby.
I mean, goddamn. How much do you love your daddy? Make a whole goddamn song about him. I mean, I enjoy his company, but it's too much of a commitment, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
I whipped one of mine so hard, the boy started moaning.
Moaning?
Sort of like, close, daddy. Can you give me one more? Yeah. I've been bad for you today. One more, so I can release. Like that. Whipped him so hard, the boy's nut hit the floor.
All your boys be doing this?
No, just one of them.
I think your boy might be a little sweet.
Like how?
You got yourself a fella fucker.
Think long and hard. Have you noticed anything else funny?
No, I don't think so.
Scrub my hole now.
Any funny business with your daughter?
Ooh, girl, stop. You crazy.
I don't think Negroes enjoy the company of heavyset white ones. Lovely.
I made it for you.
I feel like prancing.
I mean, I think it's pretty cut and dry, Murphy. I think Murphy's got himself a boyfriend.
That's not true.
Y'all are sitting around reading poetry to each other by candlelight.
He's in a domestic partnership.
Here are your papers and get your fella fucking ass up north.
I don't want to be free if it means I can't be with you no more.
And they laugh. And they call me the dogged diddler. So take your ass and go up north where they diddle all day. Go, shoot, go diddle up north, you hear? Yankees love that shit. Man and another man, they use that hole?
What a dumb motherfucker. I can't believe that shit worked. Come on, baby.
Okay.
I'm gonna take your big ass up north with me.
Hey, Master Murphy.
Is that what happened to Lil Nas
I want
X?
the website.
Lil Nas X.
What was that?
You know that guy that had that satanic shoe, the pentagram, and he had that one eye over his
Yeah.
that Lil Nas X guy having sex with Satan.
You talking about his music video, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's terrible.
That guy had like I saw a couple of his music videos and I'm like, what in the goddamn fuck am I watching? Because it was like gay. It was like totally the gayest shit you'd ever watch. It was fucking wretched. It was gay.
It's terrible shit. So, anyways, yeah, I've seen his garbage. But yeah, the this freaking show is fucking hilarious.
11.
Hold on, hilarious. It's pretty good. This fucking the Promised Land. It's kind of funny. So, anyways, I don't want to get a copyright strike.
What was that Nazi werewolf girl in leather and shit you was talking about earlier, Sammy?
The what? Oh, the Vril?
Yeah, the Vril Society.
Yeah. Hold on here.
I think the Vril Society is probably really significant because fundamentally, if you were to translate it into modern technology, it's a psychotronic application, and I think it's really significant. So I believe it's just psychotronics. It's a group that understands psychotronics
The Nazis and the occult, the hidden influences that ran deep through Hitler's.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. I was just saying, like, we could call it Vril, but it's just blatantly like there's a group of people that understand psychotronics.
Yeah, no, they were, But I'm just curious if it shows, like, I watched this one documentary on the Vril Society, and it showed Hitler walking around with this, lady had like Crystal Gale, like long hair, blonde, but this chick was like, fucking 8 feet tall and shit or something. You know what I mean? She was
Okay. I would classify psychotronics as tools or instruments of the mind. And I'm not, when I say Vril or psychotronics, I'm not talking about aliens.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not personally, but go ahead.
Hold on. Just want to see if it shows. Hold on.
Can black people join these the Vril Society?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't know for sure, but I mean, I would think so.
Do you think it's kind of ironic because I'm pretty certain Obama, because he was next to that fascist symbol, the fasces, which is the symbol of Italy, right around the 1920s, and Mussolini. In the Senate, Obama was right next to it. So I wouldn't be surprised that they put Obama and some sort of neo-Nazi cults or something like that on the higher up level. Because do you know about the Order of Nine Angles, that satanic neo-Nazi society?
Uh-uh.
Yeah, there's a
I
lot of
got
crazy shit going on in the world right now.
I actually got in with them because I wanted to like infiltrate them. I got in with them, and it was frickin'. It was actually really stupid, so it wasn't even interesting. And it was a bunch of like He-Man woman haters, and it was like it was kind of like a neo-Nazi type of group, but like it was just a bunch of like He-Man woman haters. I did infiltrate it. I got in. I was in there. It was He-Man woman haters. And they're probably fucking gay for that reason, to be He-Man woman haters, but they were He-Man woman haters. They were probably all gay.
What do you guys think about Kanye West wearing all that that Nazi shit with the selling the swastika T-shirts and all that and praising Hitler?
I don't know. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
I
Kanye
don't
West was it was in a
I'm
Nazi
not
phase for a while.
I'm not looking, so I don't care.
Okay, well, Kanye West was a Nazi for a bit, huh?
Yeah, he had a song called "Hell Hitler," nigga, Hell Hitler.
Yeah, he's just fucking. That's just clickbait shit, dude. Okay, here. This might be the one I'm. Here, let's check this guy out.
Okay, I want to talk about this book that I just found. I'm obsessed with this book. Is it a book?
Have you ever heard of Vril? It's an old concept rooted in theosophy, Nazi occultism, esoteric Hitlerism, and other fringe occult schools of thought like that has had a great resurgence in the popular culture in recent years thanks to all these memes about Vril, Hyperborea, Agartha, all of these esoteric Aryan Nazi concepts that have had a resurgence in memes. Now, the original idea of Vril was very complex. There was a Vril age and a new race that was going to come from it. But the modern interpretation of Vril, what modern people take from it, is that Vril is a sort of spiritual and bodily energy. And what's interesting about all these memes and jokes about Vril is that if you listen to the way people talk about Vril, you can gain Vril, you can lose Vril, things can drain your Vril, you can acquire new Vril by doing certain things. It's almost like a fluid that you take in or something you charge your battery with. This language sounds very familiar if you know anything about esotericism, spirituality, or just the history of religion or even language over the years. You go around the world and you find lots of different cultures have their own Vril systems. The Chinese have Qi, the Indians have Prana, the Hebrews have Ruach, and the Greeks have Pneuma. And then you go from ancient religions to modern science and pseudoscience, and you get a whole wealth of new energy systems. You have Freud's libido, Reich's orgone. So what even are these systems? What is Vril? What is Qi? Are they the same thing? Are they different? And why is it that human cultures throughout history have always been fascinated by and drawn to this idea of bodily and psychic energy? The idea that our bodies are energetic systems, and that by controlling the flow of these energies, we can perhaps heal illnesses or better empower ourselves. We're going to be digging into all that and more on today's deep dive into human energy systems in pseudoscience. My name is Taylor G. Northcutt. I'm a professional physiognomist and face reader, which means that my job is to tell things about people and their personalities and their mental health and what partner they might be best with or what job they might be best at from their physical appearance, especially from their face. And so I spend all day working with people on the intersection and overlap between their bodies and souls, how the two affect each other, and how it is one holistic system. And so when you're doing research on this sort of stuff, you come across a lot of these energetic concepts. And so if you were to order an analysis or consultation from me, link is in the description, I would be using a variety of different systems, one of which is Chinese face reading. Chinese face reading comes from traditional Chinese medicine, and one of the most important concepts in traditional Chinese medicine is this idea of qi. of this flowing energy system within the body. The idea was that you had different chi vessels going throughout the body, and you had different nodes of chi energy. And by affecting these nodes, you could then alter things within the body. If you have a problem in, say, your spleen or your liver, well, there's this little node here, and this will help flow that chi energy to that area. This is where acupuncture comes from, actually. Then you go a little southwest to India, then you find the system of prana, which is a very similar system of energy. Lots of interesting parallels here. The vessel of prana is your kundalini, which runs down your spine, and the nodes of prana are your 7 chakras, which run from the crown to the root. Now, these are the two most famous, well-known, and thoroughly developed systems of energy and energetic flow in human cultures and in these intersections of medicine and mysticism that you find in the Orient. But this idea that there's some sort of mystical human energy that flows through us, that is fluid, it flows, and it goes through channels and vessels and nodes. This is not unique to the Orient, and it's a very intuitive idea. Why? Well, because in many ways it is objectively true. We are, in fact, a fluid system. We have blood vessels that run through us that get pumped out from the heart. We also have a system of lymph vessels and lymph nodes that do, in fact, cleanse us of impurities and help us to remain healthy and energized. And you can, in fact, get blockages in your lymph nodes that need to be dealt with in order to get your energy flowing. But by and large, that's solely on a material level. A lot of these systems of energy deal with a more abstract or spiritual level. So what is spiritual energy? Well, we need to look at the root word of spirit. Spirit comes from the Latin spiritus, which means breath. This is also the root of words like respiration, perspiration, inspiration, meaning to breathe life into. And in so many human cultures, we see that breath and life and breath and spirit, they're all seen as one concept. God makes Adam from clay, and then he breathes the breath of life into him. And in so many languages, you see that the word for breath is the same as the word for spirit. You go to Greek, and their word for spirit is pneuma, which is their word for wind. You go to Hebrew, and the word for spirit is ruach, which is the word for wind. I speak Arabic, and in Arabic, the word for spirit is ruh, and the word for wind is riyah. It's the same root. So there's this strong linguistic connection throughout history in all these different cultures between breath and life, and breath and spirit. And this makes sense, of course, because if you don't breathe, you die. Breathing is necessary for human life. But more specifically, I think that it has to do with the full body respiration, with cellular respiration. This is one of my theories that I've gotten into during my practice of doing physiognomy and face reading with clients. I've begun to suspect that everything having to do with our breath, our lungs, our throat, even our nose, chin, and jaw can affect our whole body greatly. Because if you affect the input of oxygen and the output of carbon dioxide, if you affect in any way that cycle of respiration, you're going to affect every single cell in the body, because every single cell in the body lives off of that oxygen that you bring in. So if respiration is affected, the whole body is affected, and the mind is affected as well. This is why I believe mewing and jaw surgery and these sorts of things that realign your facial structure such that you can more easily breathe, and you aren't mouth breathing anymore, and your nasal passage is maybe a little clearer, a little more open, can and will then affect your personality, often for the better. Now, we're starting to understand that there's a physiological root to all these energy systems. They're inspired by the working of blood and lymph vessels and breath, especially, and that this general idea of breath as life, life and breath as spirit is pretty common throughout cultures, both East and West. But it's only in the East that we really see these strong formalized systems of it, of the specific name for the energy and the specific ways that it flows. We don't really see that in the West as much. There's this broad idea of life as spirit, of the breath spirit, but there aren't that many specifics given to it until you get to the early modern age. The real beginning of a lot of these modern Western systems of energy, as it's often used by New Age woo-woo people, comes from the 1700s in Germany with a physician by the name of Franz Mesmer. Now, Mesmer believed that there was
all right, fucking snore. So anyways, dude, I just bought this fucking little generator here. I am in love with this little unit, dude. It's super quiet. and fucking kill her on gas, dude.
What did you get? Oh, it was a little predator or something, or what did you get?
Yep, little predator.
Oh yeah, they're basically yeah, they're Honda clones. They're fucking sick.
Yeah, they're fucking. I'm super happy with this little thing because, like, I have the Predator 9000, and it'll take I can run. It'd take 5 gallons to run 10 hours. So in this little unit, uses like a gallon, maybe a gallon and a half, and runs for 10 hours.
I like those because you can isolate them, so it's good to have like a couple of them.
Sure.
And yeah, you just got to make sure if you're not using them, you just clear out your fucking carburetors on them. But yeah, they're fucking sick, and the carburetors are small. It's really easy to clean out the carbs on them when you're not using them. They're really easy to store. They're fucking quiet. I love them, dude.
Yeah, I'm super impressed with it. They're fucking so quiet and nice, and
They are Honda clones, though. They're
yeah,
fucking sick.
absolutely. Yeah, they're absolute. Yeah, Honda clones. Hold on. Let me do this. Pit. So this is totally what I'm gonna fucking build here on my property. Totally doing this.
No, what I was asking you yesterday, I'm like, what's your actual wellhead depth? And that's the fucking problem. The actual fucking
Well,
wellhead
that's
depth
why
over there.
I mean, I want to build a huge cistern that gathers rainwater because, I only need one good rain a year, and I mean, with a big enough cistern, I could have water for 4 years.
You've got to build out a damn pond or something, and you've got to have a sealed pond. It's probably cheaper to do it that way than and then you could send that
I'm gonna
pond
build it
water
like
to
they
her.
used to build the ancient cisterns, man, like fucking the old Romans and shit. You know what I mean? Like the Roman aqueducts and shit. That shit's amazing, and like
Yeah.
we can't seem to build shit like that anymore.
Yeah, but you got to do like a pond or something, and
Well,
then you got to have a pond.
that's I'm doing a great big underground cistern, so it's like a underground pond that doesn't turn into a fucking mosquito breeding ground.
Yeah.
Because we got ruthless mosquitoes out here, dude. These motherfuckers will bite you through Levi's.
Yeah. No, definitely. I mean, yeah. No, I get that. No, it doesn't seem like you guys got a lot of water out there. Why in the fuck would you have mosquito problems? You know
Well,
what
we
I'm
have
saying?
tons. I mean, sit next to these huge farms that irrigate their fields and shit, and that's why we got so
Okay.
many fucking mosquitoes. But
I
check
got it.
this out. I'm
Okay.
totally building this. Like my dirt out here is absolutely perfect. So you build this huge courtyard, and then the surrounding walls and everything all have funnels basically that feed into your underground cistern so that you can sit here and grow plants and have all the water you need. That's what I'm saying. One rain here in Arizona, and I could have enough water for 4 years, and then or I can use the water for farming purposes as long as
Yeah.
I have the way to catch it. You know what I mean? There's tons of water out here.
Yeah, but do they regulate what you can catch over there or no? I mean, are they
Well, see,
where you live?
I don't receive any type of benefit from the government at all. By all rights, I shouldn't even be paying property taxes, but I just don't want to, get into the legal hassle of it. So I do. But
Okay.
if I could kick their ass in court because I have no legal nexus with the county or the city because they don't provide me any services like water, trash, electricity, anything. So I can build whatever the fuck I want. And if they want to go to court over it, I'll fucking annihilate them in court.
Yeah, but like, I like the idea of that, but like, how far away are you from, like, let's say a Walmart or something to get groceries?
Maybe 30 minutes from a Walmart.
That's not bad.
No.
No, that's fucking slick as shit, man.
Yeah, so that's
You
where,
can you can fart around, and you're only like 30 minutes away from a Walmart, and you can go get whatever the fuck you need. And
yeah. But I
yeah,
dig
so in
out
your
this huge
case,
pit, and then on the sides are little condos, little hotel rooms, man. I'm gonna fucking Airbnb it like a motherfucker and then design everything to catch rainwater. Yeah. So then I'll have all the motherfucking water I need, be able to sit there and grow food in the courtyard, nice fruits, and when everything's sitting below ground in the desert and you don't have all of the desert winds and dust, you know what I mean? Trees and shit grow a hell of a lot better.
I'll say like those under the sink. So the under the sink reverse osmosis things for water, they're basic systems. That water is so fucking good when I drink it. I fucking love it. But what a lot of people are doing is they'll set up systems like that, and then they have a manual pump, like for blackout. Like, let's say something stupid happened, you have a blackout. You can manually pump the water through them, still utilize your reverse osmosis stuff, but you got to set up like a manual pump so you can manually pump the shit. And like at the end of the day, like water's number one. I mean, it's easy to grow and find food and kill shit and eat, but water is fucking number one, you know.
Well, it's the Rome, came to dominate the world because of their technology to bring water in all of their aqueducts and shit. Like
Well,
Rome.
yeah, look over and like
See, I'm
look over
totally
and
gonna
like
do this with my little fucking cave rooms and shit. I can make them way bigger and nicer than this, though.
we'll look over and like what happened to like the history of like, let's just say Los Angeles. Like Los Angeles would have never been a thing. They had to source water out there, and they did. Then it became like the coolest place in the country over there, like over in Los Angeles, just because they did source water out there. And the yeah, water's number one, dude. Like water.
Yes, it is. But anyhow, there's
Yeah.
fucking tons of those fucking little villages. Like 200,000 of those little fucking cave homes and shit in China. Let's see.
No, I'm sure it's just if you can get your water thing resolved, then who cares? It's a water problem. You get
Yep.
the water thing solved, and it's a shitting problem too, like septic for pooping.
Well, actually, no, because I'm all into like composting toilets, and then there's tons of, you know what urea is, right?
Urea is the freaking stuff in your piss, right?
Well, it is, but they use it in like diesel trucks now, and
Okay.
yeah, and it's also you from urine you can create a lot of fucking good shit. Let me see.
I don't know if my piss would be worth a shit, but I'm willing to give it a try. You want me to send you my piss or
Power
something like that? I mean,
of urine. Let me see if I. Is that what he titled it? I can't remember. Urine therapy. These fucking weirdos drink their piss, dude. I'm never gonna be cool with that shit.
oh man, I thought you would be. I thought you'd be like totally fucking geared up for it, dude.
No. Let's see, what is that dude's name? Let me find it. Undecided. There we go. Undecided.
Hey Jordan, do you drink piss?
Yeah, beer. I drink a lot of beer. Yeah.
Do you drink piss? Let's see. This is one of them.
We can't see nothing, Brandon.
Oh, my bad.
Maybe used in new household products. Cow manure is on its way to a new kind of field. It's now possible to spin it into high-tech biodegradable plastics and textiles, or use it as glue inside of lithium battery electrodes. And as for the urine that we send down the drain, it might someday help build our cities with better concrete. You could say that researchers in Germany, the US, and the UK are engineering new ways to let number 1 and number 2 finally live up to their names. So is this the next big leap in sustainable design, or just a steaming pile of hype? And how close are we to building a cleaner, greener future for human and animal waste? I'm Matt Farrell. Welcome.
This brilliant little device keeps any room ice cold all summer and toasty warm all winter with zero installation.
To Undecided. This video is brought to you by Segway Navimo. There are some really interesting advances in the realm of putting waste to work in plastics, building materials, and even batteries that I'm going to get into. Before getting into those, it shouldn't be too surprising that this is a thing. If you wanted to make a bang in the 1800s, you'd mix urine and manure in a compost heap and extract saltpeter for gunpowder. Need to dye cloth a bold red? Well, you'd fix the pigment with pee. Run out of firewood? Well, you'd burn dry dung to cook your meal. The same way humans have since the Neolithic period. Waste doesn't have to be waste. Today, the compost pile has been replaced by chemical plants, which generate nitrates, ammonia, and carbon-based materials through energy-intensive processes. Modern chamber pots flush to waste treatment centers, and cow manure can't even get a lift to the fields. Less than 8% of US cropland got any manure in 2020 because chemical fertilizers are cheaper to transport and easier to apply. That means most of the 1.4 billion tons of cow manure generated in the US each year are piled up or stored in open lagoons, releasing methane, ammonia, and other pollutants into the environment. But what if cow patties could replace petrochemicals and plastics in synthetic textiles? Plastics are just polymers, chains of carbon-based molecules that can be manufactured with a variety of shapes and levels of flexibility. Kind of like one of the biggest components of cow pies, cellulose. Cellulose is the most abundant natural polymer on Earth and forms the structural backbone of plants. It consists of linear chains of thousands of sugar molecules linked together, forming a stiff, carbon-based skeleton. Now, these chains bundle together into microfibrils with plant cell walls, giving them incredible tensile strength.
It's this strength that made wood a choice material for homes, ships, tools, and more for centuries. Today, wood is pulped to extract cellulose for far more than paper and cardboard. Cellulose puts the cell in cellophane, that crinkly, transparent wrap around your food. It's wallpaper paste, the sponge on your kitchen sink, anti-caking agents, and fillers and prescription pills. In medicine, it's used for wound dressing and scaffolds for growing new tissue. I recently shared a biodegradable battery that uses cellulose to absorb electrolyte and separate anode and cathode layers. You might even be wearing cellulose right now. Rayon, Vicose, and Lyocell are made with cellulose spun into smooth, wearable fibers. And unlike plastics, cellulose is biodegradable. Because as tough as cellulose is, its sugar backbone can be broken down by bacteria and fungi in the compost heap. Now, all of this cellulose comes at a cost in the form of trees. Over 200 million metric tons of wood are pulped each year. Yes, trees are renewable and paper is recyclable, but rising global demand still contributes to deforestation. Pulping isn't the most eco-friendly process. After trees are felled, they're sent through wood chippers and into hot, pressurized chemical baths. If you've ever passed by a paper mill, you never forget the smell of this stinky process.
Yeah,
and most of the world's
horrible.
cellulose is extracted using the Kraft process, which relies on sodium hydroxide and sodium sulfide to strip cellulose from the plant matter. Now, some of that sulfide escapes as sulfur dioxide, a major air pollutant and contributor to acid rain. Plus, if you're aiming for high-performance cellulose, like the nanofibers that are used in advanced textiles or composites, you'll burn a lot of energy shearing that pulp down to nanoscale threads. Or you could just ask a cow. She might look like she's just standing there, chewing her cud, but she's right there running a cellulose processing plant in her gut, with fermentation outsourced to microbes that break down plant matter into small fibers, including cellulose nanofibrils. And speaking of cows, if you've ever looked at one peacefully grazing and thought, honestly, that's a solid lawn care strategy, you're not wrong, but if you're short on livestock and long on grass, today's sponsor, the Segway Navimo X3 series, might be your new favorite field hand. I've used a lot of robot mowers over the years, and I've run into the usual pain points: digging up your yard for boundary wires, slow charging, and mowers that lose their way around obstacles. But the Navimo X3 series, this one actually delivers. Setup was fast and surprising. And thanks to Segway Navimo and to all of you for supporting the channel. Now back to ways we're turning waste into resources and just what those nanofibrils can actually do for us. Now, these fibers are tiny, just 5 to 60 nanometers wide, but they can run hundreds of times longer, stretching several micrometers. Now, that high aspect ratio gives individual cellulose nanofibrils exceptional mechanical properties with a tensile strength exceeding 2 gigapascals and a stiffness approaching that of steel. These are the strong, flexible, yet biodegradable fibers now being spun into high-performance plastics. And instead of pulping new trees, researchers at University College London and Edinburgh Napier University developed a new method to extract quality nanocellulose fibers from nature's unlikely care package, the cow pie. The team mixed sodium hydroxide and sodium hydrochlorate, which is also just known as bleach, with powdered cow manure from a local farm to strip away proteins, fats, carbs, and other plant matter. What remained was mostly cellulose, which they blitzed into a smooth white slurry that looks an awful lot like milk. But trust me, you don't want to put this in your cereal. To turn cow goo into bioplastics, the researchers invented a spinning method your great-great-grandmother wouldn't recognize. It's called nozzle pressurized spinning, or NPS. It's a twist on fiber spinning method used to make fabrics like lyocell. Dried cellulose from cow manure is dissolved in a solvent and forced through tiny nozzles mounted on the side of a chamber rotating at 12,000 revolutions per minute. That high-speed rotation aligns the fibers as they shoot into a water bath just 1 centimeter away, where the solvent is rinsed out and the cellulose stabilizes in long, continuous threads. As the team stepped up the amount of cellulose in the slurry, they went from producing thin films to ribbons to full-on fibers, each with its own application in bioplastic manufacturing. By skipping the
Brandon.
entirely and starting with manure, these
Yeah, can you hear me? Oh, he left. Okay, there he is.
You ever heard of biological robots that are made from human tissue?
Hey, I mean, sure, I've heard of them.
They're not created yet, but it sounds like it's a step in the direction towards, like, I mean, it's concrete, but it's a step in the direction of what I just stated.
Oh yeah, dude, they're gonna have fucking robotic fucking sex dolls soon. Are you kidding? That's coming up. Straight up. Guarantee it. So that's gonna be huge money. So anyways. Have a dispute with your fucking robot and she'll rip your dick off.
While you're drinking your Bill Gates shit water, because he knows how to convert the shit into water through filtering processes, and he can eat your bugs with your antidepressants, your Prozac.
Well, I mean, most of our fucking water is fucking, sewage treated water, though.
Yeah, well, Bill Gates said he could do it directly from human waste. So,
Yeah, I don't know. It's possible for sure. I mean, you can separate water from anything. So, and if you clean it up, then yeah, it's not a problem. Yeah, that's what sewage treatment's all about, is taking that fucking dirty water and making it clean. And that's what, I'm working on this project in the oil fields for cleaning the produced water that comes out of the oil wells. And that's the worst shit on the planet. That's the worst kind of water to clean. If you can clean that, everything else is easy. But it seems like he had another video. I don't think this is the exact video that I wanted to. Cowpie batteries, pea cement. Okay, let me do this. Go like this. Just put in urine. I'm sure he has another one. What is this?
We're looking for people 40 plus who want to actually master Claude in 28 days. No free time needed, just 10 minutes a day. Nexera gives you interactive, bite-sized.
There's $67 billion.
Huh. Let me see if maybe it was 2-bit Da Vinci. Let's see. Urine. No. P. No. All right.
Dollars in critical minerals sitting in your trash can. Not metaphorically, literally. Old laptops, dead drills, the printer that you're keeping for sentimental reasons. The gadget graveyard in your junk closet is just the start. The tailings and the waste piled up outside old mines might hold even more. By some estimates, between the two, we already have nearly all the rare earths that America needs, without digging a single new hole. Lithium for batteries, rare earths for wind turbines, the magnets in electric motors. All of it sitting in piles of waste from things that we already dug up. Sounds too good to be true, right? Every few years, there's $67 billion in critical minerals sitting in your trash can. Not metaphorically, literally. Old laptops, dead drills. These cowpie plastics are poised to save energy, chemicals, and cost. Most of the population is concentrated in concrete jungles, where concrete is simply Portland cement mixed with sand and gravel to form concrete. Over 4 billion tons of cement are poured each year, generating about 8% of the world's annual carbon emissions. That's because cement is an emissions double whammy. To make it, limestone or calcium carbonate is heated in kilns to around 1450 degrees Celsius or 2640 degrees Fahrenheit, burning vast amounts of fuel and releasing CO2 in the process. Inside the kiln, calcium carbonate breaks down into lime and CO2, directly emitting even more carbon. The solution is to skip cement altogether and grow concrete using microbes, in a process called microbially induced calcium carbonate precipitation, or MICP. Microbes trigger a chemical reaction that locks up carbon dioxide with calcium, forming fresh calcium carbonate crystals. Not only does this process sequester carbon, it also avoids the energy-intensive kilns used to produce cement, making MICP a solid double in the carbon-saving game. Now, researchers at the University of Stuttgart in Germany have brought it home by powering the whole process with waste. So what's the surprising secret ingredient in this sustainable concrete? You may be relieved to hear it's urine. The team at Stuttgart used urolytic bacteria which break down urea, the chemical that gives urine its name, into carbon dioxide and ammonia. Unfortunately, ammonia is what gives urine its smell. But fortunately, ammonia also raises the water's pH, which shifts carbon dioxide into bicarbonate and carbonate. Add calcium and boom, calcium carbonate crystals spontaneously form. The team played 3 clever tricks to get the strongest MICP bricks ever made. First, they optimized the mix of small and large sand grains to reduce the space between the particles, so less biocement was needed to fill the gaps and hold everything together. Second, they flushed fresh calcium and urine through this mixture every 4 hours during the 3-day growing period, keeping key ingredients circulating to ensure even cementation throughout the brick. Third, to avoid washing away the microbes with all that flushing, they pre-mixed the sand with a freeze-dried powder of bacteria embedded with larger calcium carbonate particles. It worked, forming a solid structure similar to natural calcareous sandstone with a maximum growth depth of 14 centimeters. When the team used chemical urea in lieu of urine, they reached a compressive strength of 52.5 megapascals, which is significantly stronger than previous attempts at biomineralized concrete. With artificial P, they reached 20 megapascals, and with human P, 5 megapascals. So there's still work to do before true waste streams can fully replace lab reagents, but researchers say a strength of 30 to 40 megapascals would be enough for low-rise structures with up to 3 stories. Next, the team plans to identify which parts of the urine are slowing things down and how to leave them out. But where exactly are we going to get enough urine to make biocement commercially viable? Places with lots of people, like Stuttgart Airport in Germany, or the ballpark. We might soon be returning to the days of ancient Rome where urine was collected at public urinals and traded like any other raw material. Any circular economy depends on capturing as many outputs as possible and feeding them back in as inputs. So maybe it's not that surprising that what comes out the back end of a cow or down the drain of a urinal is now being tapped for sustainable materials and manufacturing processes. Manure and urine are loaded with carbon, urea, and other compounds that can be re-engineered from problems into solutions. But what do you think? Is this kind of waste to resource innovation actually worth it? Does the idea of a poo battery stink? Jump in the comments and let me know. If you didn't get your fill of bathroom puns, you're in luck. I've got an extended version of this video over on Patreon featuring a wild new breakthrough in green hydrogen production. It's, well, yellow. And speaking of patrons, I'd like to welcome my newest Supporter Plus member, Kyle Alam. If you'd like to join, the link's in the description. And be sure to listen to my follow-up podcast, Still to be Determined, while keep this.
Let me see. Yeah, okay. Hold on. Let's see. I like this channel too, Cody's Lab. He's out in Tooele, Utah, like a lot of my family's out in Tooele, Utah. So, let me see. Let's put here. Weeds and pee, huh? What the fuck?
1, 2, 3.
The world may never know.
Whatcha is the IT painkiller. Remote monitoring and management, remote access, help desk and ticketing.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Cody's Lab. So up on the hillside behind me are some yellow flowers, and I have a sample of it in my hand right here, and this is called Dyer's Woad. This is considered a noxious weed in this part of the country because it is quite bitter, and so nothing really eats it except maybe goats. And it covers entire hillsides, it grows like crazy, and it crowds out other plants. So it's actually targeted as a eradication program where the county has actually offered a bounty on this at some times. Now what happened originally is this was imported from Europe because you could actually make dye from its leaves. Its leaves actually contain a blue pigment which is chemically very similar to indigo. It just has a lower concentration than the indigo plant does. And so what this plant was originally used for was extracting that blue dye and using it to dye fabrics and things a blue color, which blue is a very difficult color to achieve. But nowadays, of course, blue dyes are very easy to synthesize chemically, and so this plant is completely obsolete in terms of the blue dye extraction. But I figured that since that is something that it was used for, and I've got plenty of it, I thought I might try it out and see what it takes to actually extract the blue dye from this stuff and actually dye something with it. So in my experiments, every part of this plant really actually does have small amounts of the blue dye. The leaves have the most, and I've noticed that the very young plants, like these little tiny seedlings, have the most dye per volume. I'm not actually sure if that's because it contains more or if it's easier to extract, because these older leaves have like a waxy coating, whereas these younger ones are nice and fuzzy. And so I assume it's easier to extract it from them. But let's pick a bunch of it and go back home and start extracting.
Yeah, man, I'm fucking fighting to keep
Now that
my
I've got
eyes
the
open
leaves
now, man. I'm gonna bounce, Jordan.
All right.
You have a good night, man.
You too.
Yeah.